With so many things happening in the country and abroad, how can we wisely navigate through the bond and equity markets? More importantly, how do we explain the returns of our AXA funds to our valued customers? Good morning, AXA. This is Mark Inares, again filling in for Tin Militante. Welcome to the season ender of Investment News Live. Navigating the market can be quite overwhelming. Inflation, consumer price index, interest rates, these are concepts na importante pagdating sa investments. Pero minsan napapaisip tayo, para saan nga ba ito? Anong relation nito sa AXA funds natin? To add to this, ano nga ba ang halaga ng mga balita tungkol sa pandemya? Yung spread na new strains, efficiency ng pag-deploy ng mga vaccines sa iba't ibang bansa, paano to related sa investments? Today, we are going to look into the key factors that may influence the behavior of the bond and equity markets. Inflation. We usually describe inflation as the increase in the prices of goods and services. As a consumer, hindi natin gusto na tumataas yung presyo ng mga bilihin. Kasi that would mean we would need to spend more in order para makabili ng gulay, kape, in my case, chips, tsaka soft drinks, no? However, inflation in itself is not all bad. To some extent, it indicates na may consumption sa market. This means na kaya tumataas ang presyo ng mga bilihin ay dahil may demand for these goods, meaning maraming bumibili. When there are many consumers, this may be a good sign kasi it means that businesses can profit and economies can thrive. Ang importante, sustainable ang inflation. In the case of the Philippines, the ideal range would be from 2 to 4% based on our Bangko Sentral. To get the latest information about inflation, you can go to the website of the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA or go to their Twitter account. Also, nababalita rin naman sa news kapag nagre-release ng inflation figures ang PSA at the first week of the following month. So make sure bantayan niyo yung balita para alam niyo kung ano yung latest inflation figures. Yan, so siguro naman naiisip niyo, ano naman ang kinalaman ng inflation sa funds natin? Pero bago ko sagutin yan, tingnan muna natin ang isang concept na related din sa inflation. And of course, I'm talking about interest rates. So ano ba itong mga interest rates na to? So these are actually the borrowing and lending rates adjusted by the Bangko Sentral to influence how people, meaning how consumers and also businesses, use their money. So in so doing, by controlling the interest rates, the central bank is able to manage inflation para sustainable level siya. For example, if the BSP wants to encourage consumers and businesses to spend, ilo-lower nila yung interest rates para ganahan tayong gamitin yung pera natin at hindi natin itago sa bangko. On the other hand, if they want consumers and businesses to save, they will increase the interest rates naman para ma-encourage tayo na imbis na gastusin natin yung pera natin, ipapark lang natin siya sa bangko. Now, itong mga adjustments sa interest rates will also affect yung presyo ng mga existing bonds that are already out in the market. If gusto niyo malaman in full detail as to why this is the case, you can take our Axis Phase 1 sessions in LMS. But for now, it's enough to keep this in mind, that interest rates and bond prices are inversely related. This means that kung tumataas yung interest rates, the prices of existing bonds will go down. Kung bumababa naman yung interest rates, tataas yung bond prices. That being said, tingnan nga natin yung wealth bond fund natin. Notice here that there is an upward trend sa ating wealth bond fund. It can be said that because inflation was low and interest rates were cut by the BSP during the pandemic, tumaas tuloy yung presyo ng local bonds natin. So moving forward, ano naman may expect natin sa bonds? As per BSP, they plan to keep rates steady at low levels. So while there has been quite an increase in inflation in the first quarter of this year, ang tingin ng BSP, yung increase na to will only be temporary. This being the case, investing in bond funds can still be beneficial for our customers. So the next factor or concept that we have to look out for would be consumer behavior. This simply describes kung gumagastos ba yung mga tao o hindi. At kung gumagastos sila, ano yung mga pinagagastosan nila? Anong goods and services? So for example, in 2020, there was an increase in the usage of online platforms due to the pandemic. People transacted online and related with workmates online. Kitang-kita last year na tumaas yung stock prices ng mga tech firms like Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Our customers who invested in our Global Advantage Fund felt that too. As we can see in the fund fact sheet of our Global Advantage Fund, ang bilis ng pag-akit ng prices. While this is all well and good, analysts say that highly unlikely na magiging ganun kabilis ulit ang pag-akyat ng presyo ng stocks ng tech firms moving forward. Kumbaga, dahil sa bilis ng growth last year, may chance na baka mas mabagal yung pag-akyat nila this year. And possibly, pwede rin magkaroon ng corrections at some point. With this in mind, it's recommended na mag-invest din sa ibang funds ni AXA. Since other regions and sectors are also starting to recover from the pandemic, our global dynamic allocation funds can be considered since they provide diversification in terms of geographic location and in terms of sector. So we're not saying na wag na tayo mag-invest sa GAF altogether ha. To still be able to ride the growth of these tech firms, we recommend that a portion of our clients' portfolio still be allocated in GAF. While the rest, we can place in other funds para mag-diversify. Take note also that when we say portfolio, we are talking about the entire investable funds of the client. And this will include yung investments nila outside AXA. A measure that is related to consumer behavior is the Consumer Price Index. So this measures as to how much gumagastos yung mga tao for goods and services. So the higher the value of this, the more people are spending or consuming a certain good or service. So if you look at the trend in the Philippines, we'll see na mababa yung level ng CPI. But from October 2020 up until January 2021, we can see na yan, nagkakaroon na ng consumption. So if people purchase more goods and services, if people consume more, it will be beneficial for companies. If the companies keep profiting, chances are yung stock prices nila will also go up. So in our wealth equity fund, we've seen na nagkaroon nga ng drop nung nag-lockdown. At some point, people were not consuming as much, especially because yung establishments na pinupuntahan nila, yung mga malls, restaurants, were closed temporarily. However, as lockdown restrictions eventually eased, and as people started to adjust to the new normal, they also started to gradually go out, purchase new items, gadgets, etc. No? More consumption means more earnings for the businesses and can also translate to a positive outlook for our equities. However, hindi natin mababaliwala ang epekto ng coronavirus sa buhay natin at pati rin sa mga investments. Hanggang ngayon, we are still battling the virus. Yes, totoo, meron na tayong mga vaccines, but we are still threatened by the new strains of COVID. Also, yung availability and deployment ng vaccines around the world ang kailangan bigyan din natin ng pansin. These two factors, the new strain and the efficient deployment of the vaccines, will play a huge role in investments moving forward. So if the new strain keeps spreading and is not contained, there is a risk na magkaroon ulit ng mga lockdowns. The same goes for the deployment of vaccines. Kung matagal yung distribution, kung hindi efficient, then may risk na again bumalik sa community lockdowns. From there, domino effect yan. Lockdowns will mean people will not go out, establishments will temporarily close, there will be less consumption in the market, so yung CPI natin, yung Consumer Price Index, yung inflation natin will also be affected. Malaki pa rin talaga ang uncertainty sa local and global markets because of the pandemic. This being the case, maganda na well-diversified tayo pagdating sa investments natin at ng customers natin. For example, yung Global Dynamic Allocation Fund multi-asset. So this is actively managed by our expert fund managers. It's invested in different regions and is invested in both global bond funds and global equity funds. Ang maganda dito, nakaka-react quickly yung mga fund managers natin. Kaya nila maging mas exposed sa isang region or sector if they find from their research na mas may earning opportunities in those areas. Yan, so kahit may push and pull factors because of the pandemic, with our GDAF or Global Dynamic Allocation Funds, our customers can have the peace of mind na binabantayan at minamanage ng maigi yung investments nila. The GDAF multi-asset is now also accessible to our peso policyholders through the PDDF or peso-denominated dollar funds. Last but definitely not the least na factor na importante when thinking about investments would be government support, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ngayon ng pandemya. As I mentioned earlier, the more the virus is contained, the better for businesses. Alongside that, government support, importante rin. So to help businesses and the economy recover from the hits of the pandemic, pwede magkaroon ng fiscal policy and monetary policies. By fiscal policy, this means adjustments sa taxes as well as sa government spending. Perfect example of this would be the Bayanihan Act, where entities were given financial support by the government to help them bounce back. Meanwhile, meron namang monetary policy na ang BSP naman ang nag-i-implement. Perfect example of this is when they adjust interest rates to either encourage consumers to spend or save. Ngayong alam na natin ang ilang factors that may influence the markets, let's try to understand fund returns better. So in our AXA fund fact sheets, makikita natin na may portion that shows the cumulative and annualized returns of each fund. So on screen right now, you can see the returns of our Asia Growth Fund. So when looking at the fund fact sheets, always take note of the date on the upper right-hand side. Here we can see that it's dated January 2021. So this means the data presented here are as of the end of January 2021. In the historical returns portion, we can see here the possible returns of our clients. Depende kung gaano katagal na sila naka-invest sa Asia Growth Fund. Halimbawa, kung 1 month na sila naka-invest, so this means naka-invest sila from the end of December 2020 to the end of January 2021, then 6.7% yung naging earnings nila. Kung 1 year naman invested, so this means January 2020 to January 2021, and so on. So always remember that the reference date here will always be the date of the fund fact sheets. Doon naman sa highest and lowest rows, the values here reflect kung ano yung highest and lowest returns ng fund from the time na nag-incept siya. Sa lower portion naman, yung annualized returns, yung nakapresent. When we say annualized returns, this means magkano yung returns ng fund on an annualized basis. So if you want to know more about how to read the fun fact sheets, you can go to the link currently flashed on your screen. For the next portion of our program, let's
Ask Emma!
Good morning, AXA, and thank you again for joining us for another episode of Ask Emma, where we talk about practical features and tutorials on how to use Emma by AXA app as a value-adding sales and ease of access tool for you and our customers. Now, we have a nice episode for today. What we're going to cover is Health Hub main page. Yan. So for today, we'll explore Health Hub na main page in AXA. So in earlier episodes, we touched a little about this already, but for those who are new to Health Hub, this is where we can quickly access anything related to health products or services we offer. But before we go to our Health Hub, very quick is that we'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. Right now, we have hit, ewan ko kung minagic talaga to, no? We've really hit, as of this morning, 500 subscribers. Woohoo! 500 subscribers. Ang ganda ng timing natin. Okay? So, from here, we have 500 subscribers already on our channel. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, huwag kayong mafo-FOMO ha. Feel free to join. Just search for Distribution Learning and Development on YouTube. Click on subscribe so that you can view all of Season 2. Let's Get Digital episodes that are uploaded there, as well as our Ask Emma mini segment. So they're all available on YouTube. No? So thank you for those who have subscribed. Now, going back to our Health Hub, if you haven't opened your Emma app yet, so make sure to log into your Emma app and access your Health Hub by accessing the Emma, rather the learn more no na link through our Health Hub. Ayan, okay? So it's very easy to spot. Pag open pa lang ng Emma app, you can find it there. Just click on learn more and you'll reach the Health Hub main page. Now, once you reach the Health Hub main page, this is where we can find all of the different information and links to our health products and services. Okay, so if you have your Emma app open as well, follow along and we can go through this together. No? Now, first, for our main page, is that meron tayong tinatawag na carousel or banner, no? For those na medyo old school, ang na-recall ko niyan, tawag dyan, banner ads, okay? So from here, we can see at the top portion of our Health Hub page, mga important ads or information or product marketing ads that we have for our different health products. So that is our carousel portion there. So you can swipe left or right to see the different ads that we have posted there. The next one is, of course, yung main natin, which is health services. Okay, so health services is where we can access talaga yung mga yung mga services natin that we offer through the Ask by Emma, rather the Emma by AXA app, ano? And from here, we actually talked about this one, first of which is teleconsultation through My Pocket Doctor. We have Ask Emma mini segment already on YouTube on that, so you can go back and visit that. And we've also talked about aid through the at-home healthcare na option under the health services button. For ambulatory services, we also cover that in our roadside assistance portion of Ask Emma. And upcoming is also a quick talk that we'll create for our Emma segment for PCC or preferred consultation and care. Ayan. So, ang dami na nating mga episodes. Ang bilis, no? Now, the next portion, if you swipe up or move down to from our Health Hub page, you'll see what we call yung featured health products. And sa featured health products natin, this is important because sometimes we want to find a particular product that we would want to share to our customers. Or kung halimbawang si customer medyo nagmamadali and virtual tayo again, Yeah, you can guide the customer to go to their Emma app and read up on information about our products in this section. So it's grouped into three. First one is critical illness. So here, kapag ang customer natin wants to find out more about our critical illness products or products that cover critical illnesses, they can go to this section and take a look at different write-ups or product information natin. So for example, here we have Health Max, we have Health Start. They can find information about our critical illness policies or products here in this section. Another one is our medical coverage. Ayan, yung very important na GHA product natin. So if they want to find out more about yung medical coverage natin through GHA, they can read up on this information here. And then, of course, the last but not the least is our savings and health through our My Life Choice Health. Yan. So from there, even if you're not meeting your customer face-to-face, you can already guide them to these sections for them to read up on important features and information about our different health products through the featured health product section. No? And then, of course, syempre, dahil health yan, we have an expert corner in this Health Hub main page. So in the expert corner, here is where you can find health-related information to help you stay updated. So kung for example, medyo hindi pa sure kung ano yung understanding ni customer about COVID, they can go to this portion, read up on, for example, this particular article about what is COVID-19, right? So that is our expert corner, and we have a couple of articles or write-ups that they can find there. And last but not least is Discover. So aside dahil health and wellness, etong page nito, of course, there are articles as well that doesn't necessarily talk about our products, but also share information for the health and wellness of our customers and ourselves. So we will be sharing a lot of articles or information here with regards to health and wellness under the Discover portion. And that's it. That is our health page or Health Hub page on Emma. So remember that our Emma by AXA app provides quick and easy and convenient access for us and our customers on anything related to our health services and products. So what are you waiting for? Download the Emma by AXA app now, and thank you for watching Ask Emma. Until the next video, stay safe and happy selling!
We've reached the end of today's broadcast. In this episode, we learned how factors such as inflation, interest rates, consumer behavior, and government support, how these can influence the movement of our AXA funds. By observing these factors, we are better equipped to navigate through the markets and give sound advice to our customers. With the fund fact sheets, we can also explain to our existing investors as to how the funds they've invested in have been performing. If you want to know more about our funds and how you can further help your customers, you may refer to the LMS online modules and live virtual session schedules that will be flashing on your screen. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, for the season ender of AHA Thursdays, featuring Unleash, Transform, Grow, inspired by Tony Robbins. Your thoughts, opinions, and feedback are very important to us. We want to know what you want to know. So please take the time to answer our short survey at the end of this program so we can understand how to serve you better. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you again next season. This is Mark Inares, filling in for Tin Militante, And this has been Investment News Live. Okay, pack up na.
Oh, anong ginagawa mo dito? Nag-cover na naman ako sa'yo. Akala ko wala ka.
Ano, na-miss mo ako?
Sige na nga. Ako. Anong pinag-usapan niyo? Ay, kamusta yung investment? Nice lang. Pagpulot na naman. 2 weeks na.
Ay, grabe naman. Fair, thank you.
Okay.